Hello everyone and welcome to this video of our Python tutorial series. In this video we will be continuing our for loops which we left in our previous part. In the previous part we generated all the possible outcomes of the event when two die are thrown together. And as promised in the previous part, we will make this thing complicated. We will be revising the concept which were mentioned in the previous videos. This here 6-6 scenario is a single possible outcome for my event. Now I want my output in this format: bracket the outcome of dice 1, comma the outcome of dice 2, bracket closed. How can I generate my output in this format? So if I want to print the output in my desired format, let's just write how we want to display our values, which is bracket I comma j. This is how we want to display our output. But if I do this, I will only get ij because they are being treated as a character as they are enclosed within the string. What I can do to prevent that is I can just use string concatenation and define the whole string separately. I introduced a bracket and then I concatenated the value of I within that bracket, and then I concatenated comma, then I concatenated j, and then I concatenated the close bracket. So if I print the output for this should work fine. Okay, I just got an error. I forgot a plus sign here. So if I just run it again, I got an error. Can only concatenate str, not int to str. This is the same error that we got while we tried to concatenate integers to string. And we know the solution to that problem because we have already encountered this error. The solution is to explicitly convert the data type. So I'll just convert the integer values to string values. And this is the desired format that I wanted. This process can become tedious because earlier, as you saw, I forgot a plus sign and I got an error. So we have to create an alternative to that so that we cannot stumble upon those errors too frequently. There is an option to overcome this problem in Python, which is to use format. Format is a string method in Python which can be used in this scenario. To use format, we have defined the string on which we want to use format. My required output is I want to print I and j, but I and j should be variables. So we have to create a stencil for these variables before using the format method to assign the values of variables on those stencils. How to do that? We will have to replace the variable names with curly bracket open and close. And then I'll have to use dot format just after the string terminated, and I'll have to enter the variables. As you can see, this is pretty much simpler, neat and concise as compared to the previous format that we wrote. Let's just compare them together. Now if you just look them and compare them, you will definitely conclude that dot format is far more easier to use. It's just that we will have to use curly brackets. So I'll just comment this out. Now let's say I don't want my code to print all the events. I just want the program to store them in a list in which all the possible outcomes are treated as separate elements within the list, which means that this whole possible outcome is a single element in the list. So how to do that? The step 1 would definitely be to create a list. So I'll just create a list called result and put it as an empty list. And now I want to append the values in my result. I want to store them as tuple. And if I just go out and print result, let's see what I will get. Before that, I'll just comment this print too, so that only one print command is there, which are treated separately. So if I just get result 0, I should only get 1 comma 1. I only got 1 comma 1. We know how to access each and every element from the list. So whenever we want to print the values just the way we did here, we can directly use for I in result print I, because all my values are already stored in the list, and if I just access single elements from that list, I will get the desired output which I wanted from the start of the code. Let's comment this for loop here. I'd also like to add a particular functionality which is present in for loop, which won't be quite often used, but it is the replacement of something that we already did. So I just thought that I'll just mention it. When we use this print result command here, we know that it will be executed only when the whole iterations of this outer loop 2 are done, which means all these commands are already done. This loop and this loop, both of these loops are completed. The compiler will come out of this loop code and start continuing the execution from here. By default, my execution will continue from here. But there is also another format to do so, which is to use else. See, we can directly use else with for loop. The else here will define what needs to happen just after the loop is terminated. This code will also give me the same result, which is to print the list result containing all the possible outcomes. We rarely use this format because we can directly put the command without even using else. It will automatically be executed just after the loop is terminated. So this format is very rarely used. That will be all for this video. If you found this video helpful, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel and share it with your fellow learners. I request you all to experiment with for loops as much as you can, because for loops will be there in almost every code that you will write. So it will be great if you get handy with them as quick as you can, because for loops will be there in almost every code you want to implement. So practice for loops as much as you can. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.